Darmstadt. Wow, what a performance, what a game, what a match. Hello and welcome everybody, what is going on? So, we have beaten Darmstadt 1-0 in a game that quite frankly was actually pretty poor. It was actually pretty boring, pretty dull. But if there's one highlight of the match, if there's one man that really stood out today, that was Darmstadt. It obviously in goal today, first time in 3 years, because obviously Neuer wasn't there, Ulreich wasn't there. Who steps up? It's the legendary Darmstadt, and quite frankly, we should have lost, maybe not lost, but at least drawn today. And he just saved us. Penalty saves, flying saves, just overall reading of the game. Best keeper in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. Best goalkeeper in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. But let's actually talk about the other aspects of the game, because I could talk about the best goalkeeper of all time forever. I really could, because he's just that good. But let's actually focus on the other players, the players that are lucky enough to be able to play on the same pitch as him. So let's talk about the football match in of itself. Now Darmstadt, they are relegated right now. They are relegated. And quite frankly, after today's performance, you know, if you're fighting for relegation and whatnot, you really have to play much better. You really have to, you really have to show that you deserve to stay, and they really didn't. Like I said, I didn't think we were that good today, and especially considering that we played some youth players, well, not youth players, but some youngsters and whatnot. I thought that Darmstadt should have done much better, quite frankly, and they just didn't. They were absolutely poor. Yes, they could have had a draw, to be fair, but besides that, they didn't really have a chance in the game. And so from that perspective, they just weren't there. They just weren't that good, and it just really didn't deserve to win today. But in terms of Bayern, I mean, we had a few standout performers. Kimmich especially, 100% pass accuracy in the first half, and in the second half he was just as good as he was in the first half. Bit unlucky to get taken off and subbed off for Alonso. But obviously Alonso is retiring soon, so it is it is justifiable. But I really liked what I saw from Kimmich today. He was really, really good, and I've been saying that the whole season. I've been saying that even before Lahm announced his retirement, I believe. Well, I made a special video just about that, but I was saying that Kimmich should not be a right back, and I've been saying that last week. I'll be saying it next week. I'll be saying it until next season, until we actually sign a right back. But Kimmich should not be a right back, because Kimmich is just too good. And that is not a knock on obviously fullbacks, because obviously they are important. Lahm being my favorite player of all time, that kind of says it, But there is a difference between being a midfielder and a fullback. As a midfielder, you have much more responsibility. As a fullback, you don't. You have to time your attack and your defense very well. But as a midfielder, you just have to basically dictate the tempo, dictate the game. And I think that's what he's best at. I think that is what he is probably best at, and that's where his strengths will shine more than his weaknesses. So from that perspective, I want Kimmich to play in midfield next season. I want him to be, maybe not, yeah, I want him to be a starter. I want him to be a starter alongside Vidal and Thiago. I'm probably missing somebody in midfield, but alongside them two, I want him to be a guaranteed starter, or at least the first sub. But yeah, another name that I thought was really good today was Rafinha. Rafinha, to be fair, he hasn't ever really disappointed. I've said it a long time ago, and I got so much flag for it, but I said that Rafinha is a top 5 right back in the world, but he just doesn't get respected for it because he plays alongside Lahm, or he has to force himself against Lahm. He has to, get past Lahm essentially. That was a hyperbole, of course, but he is a very good right back. Maybe not, definitely not top 5, but he's a very good right back, and he really shows it. Which also kind of highlights the point that obviously we've been talking about right backs for the whole season now, but nobody's ever mentioned Rafinha, and that's quite interesting. Because like I said, even though he performed really good today, I still wouldn't want him as the first choice right back. I still would want him as the second choice right back, and there's just one simple reason for that: he is quite old. He's gonna retire soon. So from that perspective, you don't want. I don't want to have to search for a new right back in 2 years or in a year or so. So from that perspective, I want new blood. I want someone that can develop, that can become the best in the world, that kind of thing. But he's a very capable right back. But in terms of the overall game, like I said, Darmstadt, they weren't really that good. They were I wouldn't even say they were that bad either though. I just thought they were just hanging in, and they weren't, hanging in from the first minute, which is not really the way you want to go. They didn't really look threatening. They didn't really look like they wanted to go forward. They just looked like they just came, they just arrived, and they were just boring. They were just there just to watch, essentially. And I thought that was a little bit of a waste of a game. And the fact is that we didn't really play that good either, so that kind of helped the game kind of be a drag, kind of be boring. Let's talk about Sanchez. Sanchez, obviously, he got to start today, got to play 90 minutes today, and I thought he was overall pretty good. I thought overall probably, I've not done a player ratings in like years or whatnot, but I think overall, he probably got like, I'd probably give him like a 7 or so. Overall, like his overall play was very good. The only thing that really lacked was his passing. And that's probably the one aspect that he really has to improve upon, because a lot of the time, especially in the first half, I thought like there was a spell in like the first half for 10 minutes or so where every time he tried to do a pass, it just didn't happen. For example, he wanted to pass short to Lewandowski, Lewandowski went long. He wanted to pass long to Lewandowski, Lewandowski went short. So there was just a huge miscommunication, and for like it just went on for like 10 minutes where every time he got the ball, he misplaced the pass. And it's obviously very noticeable when the other team isn't really pressing and there isn't that much, you've got a lot of time on the ball and you still mess up the pass. That's really noticeable beside, when that happens. But besides that, I thought he was really good. I thought, I'd probably give him like a 7.2 to be exact. Like roughly around that mark. Not bad, but certainly things that he can improve upon. But I just like to see him play for 90 minutes because he grew into the game. The longer the game went on, he grew more and more into the game, and then he started to be more adventurous with the ball, go forward with the ball, attack more with the ball, and that's basically where his strengths shine. Going forward with the ball, and when he did that today, he looked very, very good. Yeah. Overall, like I said, I don't think there was really a bad player on the pitch. There were a lot of missed chances by Lewandowski. Ribery didn't really look that good towards the second half of the game, and Costa is an issue in of itself because at moments, at times, and I think that's basically just the story of his game itself, but at times he looks really good, and then at times he gets the simplest things wrong, and it's just so frustrating to watch when it's like, just pass the ball. It's not that difficult. Like the player is right to your right, just pass the ball. It's very simple, and then he tries to go for a back heel, and it just ends up being nowhere. Or it's like 4 players of ours being in the box, and only one, for example, of Darmstadt, and he still gets the cross wrong. It's those kind of little things that he just gets wrong at all times that are just really frustrating to watch. But obviously his one-on-one skills, his beating his man, that kind of perspective, he's obviously very, very good. But everything else, it just looks so frustrating. It is really frustrating to watch, and it's really frustrating to just see him do the same thing over and over again, get the small things wrong. So I don't know. I'll make a video about him separately because it's really difficult to say whether he should leave or not, because I know a lot of Bayern fans, considering the comments that he's made recently, basically want him to go. I'm in the camp of I don't know. I'm in a camp of I don't know, because if the first season is anything to go by, he looked really good. And the question was the first season or the first half of the first season, I guess I should say, an anomaly, or is this season an anomaly? So basically you're just asking yourself, which one is the real Costa? That's basically the question you have to ask yourself. But yeah, we scored through Bernard, which was a pretty good goal. Pretty good from Rory and pretty good from Bernard. And we looked very good. I didn't think we looked bad today, but I thought we just played it safe, if that's the best way to put it, because we didn't really have to go all out. We didn't really have to attack. We didn't really have to do much. They were just there, and they just didn't really do anything. So from that perspective, I guess we did look good, but we didn't look great, and they didn't look good. They disappeared. That's the best way I can put it. They just didn't want to play. That's the best way I can put it. And from that perspective, it was a boring game. Let's be totally honest. From that perspective, it was a boring game. The only thing that I really enjoyed about this game, to be fair, was the fact that we got to see Kimmich and Sanchez play, and they both looked pretty good. Especially Kimmich, who I'll probably give a 9 out of 10. And Sanchez, who's probably like a 7.2, 7.5 out of 10. So they both look very good. And I'm hoping that both of them are going to play the next game as well. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you then. Peace out, everyone, and have a nice day.